Hello, everybody, and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I am TheOutbackAl.
I'm Yin&Jung.
I'm Chibi Noob.
I'm Envy Jitters.
I'm CheerandCosplay.
And I'm Kozi.
And we're back once more with the Collect Them All tournament. We've started a new category this week called Monster Friends, and we have all sorts of fun things to talk about with that. Last week, we had the end of the card game section. Yu-Gi-Oh! Beat out Duel Masters, and they go on to fight Card Fight Vanguard when we get back around to that category. But let's talk our Monster Friend categories, or contestants. God, I am off today. Let's talk about our Monster Friend shows today. Well, Yokai Watch and Monster Rancher are facing off today.
That's
we got
what I said.
Thingy. Well, I couldn't hear you. You cut out. Sorry about that. Regardless, so we've got these two shows. One's a little older, one's a little newer. It's going to be interesting to see how they compare. How's the landscape changed over the years between these two things? So why don't we start with Yokai Watch? Yeah, I think we may have talked either on the podcast or off the podcast that Yokai Watch started out kind of as a Game Boy game or something like that.
3DS game.
3DS, gotcha. Okay,
so way later in the game.
Yeah. So this was an anime from 2014, I think. It's about a kid named Nate who meets a ghost who gives him a watch that he can't take off so he can see more ghosts. And then they meet ghosts.
Specifically yokai.
Yep.
I got nothing else. Does anyone else have anything else
That's the plot.
about this?
That is the plot.
There's also some other people.
They're mini episodes. They're not like full episodes either.
I was almost wondering if this was like maybe a 4-panel manga type situation. I mean, some of the episodes are a little longer than that, but I don't know. This feels like it's very much like much more shorter vignettes than an overall plot. So we get to meet a cat causing near traffic accidents. We get to meet a Kappa who does nothing. We get to meet a little tiny old lady who makes you tell your secrets. A human-faced dog, a couple of cloud people who make you either angry or happy, and a delinquent turtle man reptile creature, and a fat snake. But we're still not sure whether that actually happened.
A fast snake.
Did I miss anything?
Wait, what was the snake part?
What's this about a snake?
I think you watched one too many.
No, it was like an episode. It was the beginning of episode 3.
Wait, I don't remember, and I was there.
Oh,
yeah.
The make-believe snake.
Yeah, he's like, this doesn't exist. There's 4 of them right here. Stop lying. Now there's 8 of them.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know. Do we just get into it? I was like,
Yep.
okay,
There's really not much plot to discuss.
It's very, very little. Cece, take us into plot and tell us what your thoughts are.
There is no what I talk about. Okay, this show
Buffering.
This show's very juvenile vibe. Like, it feels like it's for kids, and it's very easy to digest.
There's an episode about poop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing. Not the poop thing.
Hey, everybody poops. Kids. I remember there was a book about that.
There was. Like, I love Bluey. I can't sit here and be like, this is for babies. I'm not gonna watch it.
We are not a Bluey house. Get the fuck out.
Okay, well, I'm a Bluey person.
Chibi, I need help.
I really don't know what the hell you guys are talking about at this point.
Bluey?
Oh, you haven't heard about Bluey?
That dog.
It's a Coco Melon.
It's like it's an Australian kid show that's really popular around the world.
Yeah,
I was about to be like, are you talking about Blue's Clues? Because their name was Blue.
It's about a blue healer, an Australian blue healer. That's the breed of dog.
Okay.
And it's a children's show.
Hey man, every generation
more for like parents.
Every generation has their blue dog. It's yeah.
It's connected a lot with people around the world, specifically older people, because it's for a kid show. It's very realistic from what I heard about how it depicts like parents raising toddlers and toddlers' impressions of the world or something like that.
Okay, cool. Should we watch that instead of this?
Is like, absolutely. Oh my god, it's so good.
Well, before we watch that, why don't we you let us know what we thought of the plot?
Okay. Yeah, if you like easy things to watch, if you don't mind children's shows, like little kids shows, then it's good. I give it a yay. Maybe a light yay,
This
but
feels like a final thoughts, not a plot.
well, there's no plot to talk about.
That's all you
That's
guys say.
fair.
So that's either a nay or a yay,
There's
depending on how
no
you feel about
plot.
plots, I guess.
I like episodical shows, and I like easy things to digest. It makes it nice to have on while I'm like working on other things, which is usually how I consume media. So that's a yay for me.
Okay, I'm gonna go like a light nay. I would have gone like a full nay just because like there is no like plot. Like Cece said, it's very episodic and like it's only very loosely like tied together. But I do appreciate that at the beginning it was very realistic of I just like spawned a ghost out of a ball machine. I'm just gonna walk away. That didn't happen. So, like, when they did have little plot moments, it was cute. I'm like, that is a realistic reaction right there, sir. Also, I surprisingly liked the poop episode. I thought it was pretty funny, so.
Okay. I'm kind of a meh here. I think, like you guys are saying, I think we're very used to, at least at this point, having... I don't know. This just feels like the most extreme situation of, like, lots of plot versus no plot kind of thing. And, like, here, yeah, there is no overall plot yet. There's no overall arcing villain or any sort of thing. So it's mostly made up of little tiny adventures or just little scenarios sort of thing. I don't really like that sort of thing usually outside of certain comedies, which I guess this is trying to be a little bit. But it's one of those things of like, I don't know. This is definitely, I think you guys are right. This is probably the most juvenile show that we've watched for the entire tournament so far. We'll see how the rest of it goes. But I think for what it is for a kid's show, like a little kid show, I think the plots work. And I think they're nice little simple stories that like a 5-year-old could follow along with very easily. But also it gets pretty repetitive and boring after a while. So right in the middle is about a meh, I think.
Yeah, I felt similarly, to be honest. I think maybe when I was younger, I would have enjoyed this more. I feel like now it does just end up feeling repetitive. I think I enjoyed episode 1, but then by episode 2 and 3, I just was a little bit tired of it because it's very formulaic each time, and I could pretty much predict what was going to happen. So basically, it just has to rely on things like characters and how much you like the yokai, which I'm not going to go into because I don't consider those to be plot, but if we're just talking about plot, like just what is happening, the sequence of events in the show, and not going into the stuff that I think are its stronger points, I think it's kind of boring, not gonna lie. And I know it's, one of those shows that's a kid show that's meant to be just episodic and formulaic, but I don't know. I'd kind of give it a nay for plot. There wasn't really much going there, and I did get really bored by episode 3.
Yeah, I'm also gonna give this a meh. I enjoyed the part at the beginning where he just was like, oh, here's a little, like, stone, coin machine thing. Let me just pop a quarter in and see what comes out. And I'm just like, you just find a random gachapon at the base of a tree. That's the first thing you do?
Well, what would you do with it?
Probably not even realize it was a gachapon.
All right.
To be fair.
Hammer to it. No one's watching that thing. You could steal them all.
Oh, when he told the ghost to give him back his money. That
Yes.
was the part I enjoyed.
That was fun.
Admittedly, I guess I'll save what I'm about to say for production parts. But I feel like as far as it is pretty formulaic, first episode was just kind of like, okay, we're gonna introduce this yokai that's like, disturbing the peace between our main character's parents. And then, we'll learn about another yokai who happens to be that yokai's spouse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how we're going to resolve the conflict. And I'm just like, okay. And it was just more of that. And then I was like, this is fine, I guess, but so meh.
Well, usually I'm pretty hit or miss when it comes to episodic week episodic week or I can't speak right now. Episodic
It's
adventures of
contagious.
the week. But in all honesty, surprisingly, I didn't mind the repetitive structure of the show. I actually quite enjoyed it a lot. I honestly wasn't bored the entire time I watched it. I basically enjoyed how Nate and his ghost friend was going to basically solve or try and defeat, or I don't know if defeat's the right word, but kind of how they were going to overcome the challenges of each yokai. Like the Tattletale one, for example, how they were going to solve that. And yeah, obviously, it's nothing groundbreaking, it's nothing earth-shattering, but you know what? I was entertained. Like I honestly didn't mind watching it, and yeah, the plots are simple, but you know what? Sometimes the plot's all you need. So I give it a yay personally.
Before we move on from the category, I have to ask, because we did lightly bring up the toilet thing in, I think, episode 2. Did anyone else have a small moment where he goes into the bathroom and you were thinking, like, oh, this is where the ghost says, red paper, blue paper, and, like, it was going to turn into ghost stories for a second?
No.
A little.
Just, okay.
I did kind of relate to Nate, though, because I rarely took a number 2 in the school bathroom growing up in high school. It was either
That's because they were gross.
Well,
Yeah.
that, and I was also afraid of people hearing me and making fun of me for that. So I kind of emphasized with them on a level.
I'm gonna be really honest with you. I've met a number of people who will stop what they're doing because they hear other people come in, and they'll just sit there, wait for them to leave, and then they'll keep doing their business.
Yep, that's what I did too.
Is that you too, Chibi?
No, I literally could not give a shit, pun intended.
I would get louder.
Like, what do you think I'm doing in here?
It's like,
it's
what? I have an audience now. Let's see, do I have any, like, rocks in my shoes or something I can just throw in there to make more noise?
I was afraid of using the bathroom in high school for a different reason. Specifically in my 9th grade engineering class. If you went to use the bathroom in the middle of the class, the boys would go, have a nice masturbation vacation.
Oh my
and that,
gosh.
like, scandalized me.
Wow.
That's what we call being an asshole.
And that's the day I turned asexual.
High school boys are gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to make myself louder anytime someone walked in. I was pretty gross.
I don't get bathroom anxiety, but like when I'm on my period and I need to change out like my pad or tampon, and like the packaging crinkles, I'm like, ugh.
I'm like, we all have the same, we all use the same stuff. Who cares?
I don't.
Anyway,
But
continue.
I feel like that's kind of obvious.
Are you telling me you don't use pad sale?
I genuinely, if I had heard that coming from a bathroom, I'd be like, they eating candy bars in there?
Wow.
I did. Look, I'm not proud of this. But at one point, I did end up going into a ladies' room in high school, and I saw the little dispenser on the wall. I'm like, oh, they got a Mentos machine in here, man. They got it made.
Wow.
Yeah, how'd you know?
I mean, to be fair, the ones like at the mall and stuff often have bubblegum or chapstick in there too.
Yeah.
So you're not completely wrong.
It's like, why do we have this in the boys' room? Anywho, we should move on before we go even further down this rabbit hole. Kozi, why don't you talk about characters? Get us on something else.
I guess I'm gonna be a meh. I'm a little ambivalent towards them all. Character-wise, the designs are unique and memorable enough that, like, you're probably not gonna forget their names. I will say, like, they really leaned hard into personifying the yokai's traits into their appearance, like with the man-faced dog. Before he even turned around, I'm like, it's gonna be a salaryman. I just saw the bald head and I knew.
Yeah.
Like, I liked Nate and Katie, but I feel like that was more the dub than their actual character. Like, I'm not really sure they had any, like, real character to them. Like, they're one-dimensional. There's no depth there. They're shallow as a puddle. So I guess I'm just meh, because, like, for children, like, it works, but for adults, obviously, it does not.
Yeah, I think I'm a meh here, too. Honestly, I think the show itself describes kind of the biggest problem with some of the characters, and like, in the very first episode, like, Nate, you're so average. I'm like, yeah. Everyone, like, some of the yokai have some personality to them. Some of them are interesting, some of them are annoying. And then you have the people who are just fucking white bread, man. Just, I couldn't tell you a damn thing about any of them.
Do you know which one Bear is?
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
Do you know which one Bear is?
Is it the big one?
The big one what?
The big kid?
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like that one kind of goes from context for just their size and whatnot. But yeah, I feel like there was I don't know. I couldn't tell you a damn thing about any of them. They find ghosts or get haunted by ghosts. That's pretty much it. Yeah, meh. It's like nothing's extremely offensive here. It's just nothing's interesting either. It's so average, just like Nate.
I guess I'm gonna give it a light yay. Like, I liked these characters overall. I felt like some of them were even endearing. I kind of liked the little cat thing, even though he was a little annoying. He was kind of cute. Even the little ghost thing, like, grew on me. I feel like they all have their own, like, little individual personalities, even though they're kind of, stereotypical, like, what you think they would be. I think, like, the yokai themselves are pretty fun to watch. Like, I think, the characters carried the plot a little bit for me and made it a little bit more interesting to watch. I kind of enjoyed most of them. I thought the kids were all right. Like, I've definitely seen more annoying protagonists and more annoying children. So, I don't know. I thought they were pretty good. Like, and I could tell everybody apart. Like, nobody was super boring to me. Yeah, so overall, I would say they were memorable enough. I wasn't bored with them. I'd give it a light yay.
I would also give this a meh. Again, I feel like the positive things I have to say are more with production. So I think it's more just the fact that, like, the characters themselves aren't funny, the lines are what made them funny, but I don't know, I just don't feel really attached to anyone, but I don't hate them. So yeah, meh.
Once again, I think I'm probably be the most positive. I actually enjoyed the characters quite a bit, at least the main two. I didn't mind Nate. I thought, okay, yeah, he's kind of generic. I will give you that, but I didn't mind him. I thought, he had, I enjoyed, him in his struggles trying to, help out the yokai and the people in town. And I thought I would hate Whisper as a character, but I actually grew to like him a lot as the episodes went along. And I also liked the different yokai that we saw. Yeah, some were intentionally annoying, like Tattletale. That's because that yokai was designed as, being an annoying person. Or the one, I forget the one from episode 3 that, like, makes people a rebellious punk from the 70s, but that yokai was designed to be like that. So I thought they pretty much nailed every yokai that they could for a kid-friendly setting. Like, I didn't mention this yet, but there was a person in our college anime club that would have a presentation on yokai every single year, and even though it was the same presentation every year, this person's presentation made me very interested in Japanese yokai. So I thought, okay, this is just another way to introduce these mythological creatures, a lot of them that are probably very, very dark in nature in a kid-friendly way. So I thought they did that pretty well. So yeah, I mean, yeah, the human characters are kind of generic. I mean, the other main girl, Katie, I guess she's like the co-protagonist in the video game, but in the anime so far, she's kind of, your generic love interest and, stuff like that. But yeah, I didn't mind the characters, so I give it a yay.
I'm also going to give it a yay. I think, like, the human characters, even if there wasn't much to them, I still kind of found them relatable. I don't think everybody's gonna get a character arc IRL. Some of us are just average. And the yokai I thought were cute. They were fun. Yes, I am here for all these little guys. Give me more of these little guys.
Okay, well, then I think I'm starting us off for advertising. And this is actually something that I thought the show did pretty well. Not to go too much into production and whatnot, but like the character designs and stuff like that, which is a little bit of the advertising since you're mostly advertising your monster creatures and all that sort of stuff. I think it works on a lot of levels. I don't think it's perfect. Again, you have a couple spots where I'm a little annoyed by it, but I give it overall a light yay because it's kind of bright, it's colorful, there's a somewhat repetitive nature to bringing up their names and stuff, which borders on annoying every now and then, but honestly is a great way to have the kids watching this remember what these are. And like which ones are who's who and all that sort of stuff. I don't know. I'm sure they have merchandising and stuff, but like the little watch thing, the yokai watch, that's a good merchandising thing. It's like one of those like Ben 10 Omnitrixes or something. Like, yeah, who wouldn't want one of those? That's fun. Plus, you have like a collectible element with the little coins and stuff. I think there's a lot of good stuff here for advertising. Again, it might just be that I'm kind of a little too old to be watching this, so some of it gets a little annoying. I didn't like how they kept doing their little dances and everything, and the music was a little weird. But overall, it's pretty solid for this.
Was this production or advertising?
Advertising.
I heard a little bit of both. Okay, advertising.
It overlaps some of these things overlap a little bit, unfortunately.
I'm gonna give it a solid yay for advertising. I actually was somewhat interested in, I'm not really familiar with Yokai Watch. I know it's a video game, I believe. But after watching it, I was like, okay, I would look this up at least. I like the little yokai. I think they're fun and memorable. And I like that, kind of like what Envy was saying, it does introduce you to like the Japanese yokai. And I actually was like looking some of them up, like the stories and stuff, to see like how it matched to the ones in the show. So like at the very least it got me.
Well.
How many did we look up that was like, oh look, they're so cute, and all
then
that
it was
sort of
like
stuff. It's like eats human flesh.
It was like totally different in the story.
How many of them have to end with
chill?
How many of them have to end with and eats human flesh?
A lot of them.
Yeah, they weren't going to show that on a kids show.
But it still got me to look it up, so I think that's like fun, even though they're all very different.
And eat human flesh.
And eat human flesh, but that's for a different show. That's for like the remake, the adult like Riverdale remake of Yokai Watch.
Oh, you mean Ghost Stories?
Anyway, I don't know. I find the characters like pretty cute and endearing. Like you said, the watch thing is, something memorable that kids would enjoy buying. And I definitely think since it's geared towards kids, as a kid, I would have been even more like, hey, I want to have these I would at least like want a plushie or something. I don't know. Like, I think it's good advertising overall. I'd give it a yay.
Yeah, I would also give it a yay. As far as like making it, have appeal, it definitely does that. I would say like if I had been younger and having been in like, somewhere between like whatever I had liked before Ben 10 and like the little bit of time that I was into Ben 10, this would have been like pretty cool. I was actually just looking up merchandise. They do actually have yokai watches, as well as like little plushies and a bunch of other things aside from the video games. So those are actually like things that they can buy. So I feel like, yeah, they're definitely probably going to sell the kids on that. so they can have their own little yokai watch, so they can also go and hunt the yokai. So yeah, I'd give that a yay.
Real quick, I need to make a correction. The manga actually came first before the video game. I don't want people in the comments saying you got your order mixed up.
Oh wait,
but as
really?
far as
this was a manga before video game? I didn't know that.
Apparently, the manga came out in 2012. The video game came out in 2013.
Wow.
I just looked it up.
I mean,
okay.
Yu-Gi-Oh was a manga long before it was a card game, and it shows.
Anyway, I remember watching, since this game was published by Nintendo, I can make this comparison very similarly. It's quite obvious that they were making this game to be, oh, this is Pokemon, but with yokai.
Yeah.
Because you summon the yokai almost like a Pokemon. You announce your Pokemon, or you announce your yokai like a Pokemon. You battle them in a sense like Pokemon in a way, with different strengths and weaknesses for each yokai. But for I don't want to say ripoff, but for a Pokemon-esque type thing, I think it has a different appeal to it. Instead of monsters, you deal with mythological beings, and yeah, I think they are kind of charming in a way. And yeah, I could see kids. I know it's very popular in Japan. I don't know how well it took off in America, but I can see kids with yokai watches going out in the world. Like, imagine if there was a yokai go, like Pokemon Go, going out and seeing different yokai in the wild or something like that. So I see the potential for the franchise. As far as the anime, yeah, I think it does a good job, advertising the series, making you want to maybe try out the game if you're curious. And yeah, the characters are bright and colorful. The merchandise, especially with the cat, I could see the cat being a very popular merch item because it's a ghost cat. And yeah, so yeah, I give it a yay for advertising.
I think I'm also going to give it a yay. It's a bunch of cute little guys. I don't know. I want to collect them all.
Oh my god, that's the tournament.
I'm looking at gameplay footage right now, trying to see if the game is just going around trying to fill out your Pokédex like in Pokemon. Because if it is, I'd be very interested in doing that.
No, you're filling out the Yokai Wiki.
Okay. Yes. The Yokai Wiki, that's right.
Yes, that is exactly what it is.
Wonderful. Goblin Brain says Horde.
We have so many Pokemon games you haven't even touched. So, I get what you're all saying. And I did have younger siblings that were old enough to have played the game. We never got any, different merch, but by the time the show came out, they were aged out of it. So I'm I don't know how well the advertising does. But I will just say, personally, I really liked the cat up until I watched the show, and then I'm God, he's fucking annoying. So,
you should see the cat from another show that I accidentally watched instead of the other show that we watched for this episode.
Oh, no.
That cat was more annoying.
Oh dear.
I do think they did a lot of stuff that would appeal to children. Like you said, it's bright, it's colorful, they're cute. They did put in, a lot of, fun little songs. And even though you don't like it, AL, having, the little dance sequence when they get summoned is actually a good tactical trick to get kids interested.
I said it was good. I just didn't like it.
Just, I feel we've based pretty much every other time this category has come up off of whether or not we would buy it, and I would not buy it. But I acknowledge that they had good marketing. So meh.
Okay. I do just... It's because we keep bringing up the cat, and we brought up ghost stories more than once. I do want to see the cat get beat up by,
Amanajaku?
Amanajaku, yeah. I think he could kick his ass. I think that'd be funny to watch. Hey, Yin, you wanna talk production?
Yeah. I thought the production was pretty good. I don't have any huge complaints. I mean, like everybody said, it was colorful and round and attractive. I don't know, like it was fun to look at, and definitely it fits the mood of the series. I actually think it fits really well. I like the animation overall. I thought the songs were really freaking annoying, not gonna lie. The ending was just torture. I couldn't stand a single, like, second of it. The dance and the song, it was like, kill me now. But the opening was okay, I guess. I don't know if it's different in Japan. I'm guessing it is, and I hope it's better. But, you know, the rest of the production was pretty good, and the dub was, like, pretty good. So I'm not gonna let the opening and ending totally sway me. But because I hated them, I'm gonna give it like a light yay instead of a full yay.
I would also give production a yay. Mostly it's got nice art style. Like, the dubbing was pretty good. There were some funny line reads. I'm gonna just be really honest, they were funny line reads, but my brain can't remember any of them right now because my brain has gone goodnight for, like, pretty much all of time. So, yeah, those are my thoughts.
It's funny you mentioned that ending, Yin. Back when they were first advertising the game, and they advertised the game during the Nintendo Directs, they used that song constantly. So
Really?
that just
Oh.
brought me back to like 10 years ago from when they were first advertising the game.
Oh my
Like they had a
God.
commercial where they had the former Nintendo president Reggie Fils-Aimé dancing to that song as part of a skit. I would say, you know, pull the clip, but I don't want this taken down for copyright. So
Is he the My Body Is Ready guy?
yeah, he retired a couple years ago, but yeah,
Oh,
they had
lovely.
a commercial where they had a series of commercials where basically him and another guy, their bodies got taken over by the different yokai. They were honestly pretty entertaining. But anyway, I don't hate that song. I find it annoyingly catchy as fuck. Like it gets stuck on your head and it won't leave. And the dance is kind of whatever. I guess if you're a kid, that can be pretty entertaining. I guess. But yeah, the animation itself was pretty good. The dub was pretty good. I looked it up. It's funny you mentioned that Nate was average. The voice actor who played him is not average. That was Johnny Young Bosch.
Yeah, I know. That was like put his balls in a vice or something to do that voice.
Yeah. And the girl who played Katie, I don't know if you ever played the game, it was Clementine from the Walking Dead game. So that was her. But yeah, I thought the voice cast did a good job. I thought the animation was good. So yeah, I give it a yay.
I think I'd give it a light yay. The animation was pretty. I really liked how at the beginning of every episode it says, please do not imitate any of the yokai's behaviors. Really
Yeah.
cementing the fact that this is for children. Being like, hey, I know they're throwing themselves in front of buses. Don't do that. But the ending song is just, it's so jarring how it jumps to 3D animation. Freaks me out. I can't handle it.
They look so dead-eyed, too.
Yeah.
Oh, I should show you an anime called XR that came out a couple years ago. You want to talk about bad 3D animation? Watch that.
No, no.
Listen, the ending had a kid with jaundice. Like, why was he so yellow?
I don't
Oh.
remember.
It would have been fine if the whole show was like that, but just to suddenly go to that from the 2D animation, I'm like, nah, nope. I'm not watching this.
You don't want a whole show like that.
No.
Fucking hell. I think I'm still gonna go meh. I think the animation is decent. Like, it's nice, it's crisp. Their designs were, like, good choices. They did have a few issues with sound mixing for some of the characters, but, like, it was all just, like, overall very plain. Like, there's nothing wowing about it. Their sound choices were truly questionable. Like, I know you guys are going real hard on the closing, which deserved, but the opening, like, where they go from the rap to, like, the ballad,
The rap was so
like,
bad.
it's so weird. like, that's a very jarring tone switch in the opening.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did have quite a few just, like, still animation shots where, like, it was one static scene and they just had a voiceover on top of it. Dubbing cast did amazing with what they had to work with. Like, it was really funny. I just think it overall kind of feels like the soulless cash grab it was.
Damn.
Well, I thought it was kind of a light yay for production. I agree with like what mostly what everybody else said. The character designs and everything, they look nice. The animation's nice. One of the big detractors is mostly, it's not the One Piece rap, but it's bad.
It's bad.
And that ending is, oof. Like, I can't believe I have to bring up Gundam SD twice in 1 year, but it honestly gave me flashbacks to that a little bit. It's not a good thing to be flashing back to. I do want to give points to some of the dubcast, specifically to the big kid. I don't think I've ever watched an anime where I actually got to hear a kid going through puberty with his voice cracking. That's a nice addition. You don't see that often. Where he's kind of like, you can't, like, only one of my testicles has descended at this point. I'm like, you know what? That is a part of life, and it sucks a bag of ass. But you know what? It's there. That's a thing. I do kind of question some of those lines though, because I feel like no one else would have picked up on these, and I'm picking up on them because I'm a weirdo. I think they added some lines because I think they're assuming that adults are going to watch this with their kids. Kind of an easy assumption to make. So they added some older references, specifically with the cops dialogue in one or two of the episodes. One of them says "Book 'em, Dano." Does anyone know what that's from?
Yeah, Hawaii 5-0.
Okay, cool. So you know that one. That's good. Does anyone know what Adam 12 is?
No.
That's a cop show from 1968. How old do they think the parents of these children are? And I'm going to be real with you. The only reason I know what Adam 12 is because when I was in the 3rd grade, my teacher, there was a kid named Adam in class, and anytime Adam raised his hand, he would like call him like calling Adam 12, and wow. Every kid in the class was like, "What's Adam 12?" And he's like, "Oh, it's a show I watched when I was a kid." That guy, I think he's still around. He has to be in his mid-60s at this point. And this show came out in 2015 over here. I'm like, that's like a half-decade old reference, or a half-century old reference that you're making.
I had no idea that it was...
How old were you when you looked up this show?
I was told about it again, 3rd grade. That's fucking, I don't even know. How old would I have been?
A long time ago.
Yeah, but then like I would assume at some point you've looked it up though to actually know some information about it.
I looked it up after I heard it in this show. Because I know, wait, that's a TV show. And I needed to specifically look up the date that it came out, but I knew it was old. And I only remember it because of the fucking 3rd grade, because I remember weird shit. But I'm like, who is that a reference for? Like
the grandparents.
Okay, apparently, this is a show for all ages.
If you knew it, and
I know it because I'm weird. I know it because I'm weird.
Just saying.
So, I don't know. I felt the need to point that one out.
It makes you wonder who in production even put it in that would have known the reference. Because I feel like the people who would be working for the dubbing company aren't typically that old.
Yeah, like, genuinely, I can't think of anyone other than me under the age of 50 who knows what Adam 12 is.
I'm thinking maybe they looked up ghost shows to reference.
It's not a ghost show, it's a cop show.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm not sure, man.
I'm just saying, it's the first 3 episodes. If the cops
It
are going to
is
show
what
up
it is.
regularly and they want to like make cop TV show references, I just feel like there's way more topical ones that they could have done. Like, where's a Law and Order joke? That will never die. Okay, that show is going to be here forever. But Adam 12? I don't know, man. That was weird. It sent me on a trip. It's honestly the most memorable thing about this show to me. Anyway, that is a very long tangent. Light yay for production for me.
After all that.
Anyway, yeah. Chibi, why don't you take us into final thoughts?
Despite the fact that I feel like it had good advertisement and that it also, like, production-wise was very nice to look at and had some funny lines, I'm gonna give this a meh. I don't feel like I was enthused with it enough to, like, you know, really... If I were to be asked, like, would you want to continue this series? Not really. No. I mean, would it be okay if, like, say my cousin's kids, like, wanted to watch it and, like, it was on in the background and, like, you know, they were watching it and I just had to sit there and, you know, like, hang out? Sure, that's fine. But I would not seek it out on my own. So, yeah.
Gotta make sure your grandparents are there, though, so that they can understand when they bring up Perry Mason.
Oh
They
no.
will,
My
they will.
grandparents wouldn't even know those references. My grandparents are older than that.
Perry Mason's older than Adam 12.
Here's another thing. My grandma would not have been watching cop dramas.
It's not even a... Okay, you know what? I don't have time to go into
Is
television
it a law
history.
drama?
Yeah, he was a lawyer.
Okay.
Same side of the legal system, I guess. I guess for me, am I gonna, go out and watch every episode of the show? Probably not. No, but you know what? For judging this category on its own, I would say it's a yay for me. I could see myself as a young kid watching it, and even if I don't know how popular it is now, but I know back in the day, Nintendo was trying to make this like the next big thing. Obviously, it didn't catch on quite as easily as Pokemon, but I think it has its own unique flavor and it has its own unique itch that kind of sets it apart in a different way. I do. I'm kind of all over this with my answer, but I still give it a yay. I wouldn't mind watching a few more episodes of this if it moves on.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it a yay. Overall, I liked it. Would not hate watching more of it. Might go look up the game.
No.
I think I'd be more interested in playing the game than watching more of it, but will not be angry if it moves on.
Just a meh again. Like, I'm very just ambivalent towards the show. Like, I'm not gonna complain if we watch more of it, but I don't actively want to watch more of it myself. It's just there. It just is.
I'm kind of a light nay here. There's nothing really wrong with it. But like, as we kept watching more and more of these episodes, it kept going, and I was just like, I kind of wanted to watch it a little less every time a new episode started, so I don't know that I'm gonna want to keep watching. Short of them starting to make Dragnet references, like, I just don't think there's something for me here. And it's unfortunate, but yeah.
I'm gonna give it a meh. Because there were elements I did like, and I thought it was really cute. It's mostly I like the yokai, and I like the characters, but kind of like what Al was saying, it got repetitive to watch after a while, and I kind of started to get bored. So I'd be interested in like looking up the yokai, or maybe the game is more fun, kind of like what Cece was saying. But I feel like watching the show like might be a bit of a drag for me, just because it started to get kind of boring. Why are you laughing?
Dragnet.
Oh, yeah. But it's like there were elements I liked, but I think I'd be a little bit bored, so I'm just going to give it like a solid meh.
Cool. So that's Yokai Watch. Why don't we head on over into its contender, Monster Rancher, where we have it's. I did not remember that this was an isekai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, yeah. That caught me off guard when I watched this. But yeah, so we have a kid named Genki who's really good at playing a video game, and he gets sucked into that video game. Oh my god, this is the basis for like every show that's coming out nowadays. That's
Pretty much.
crazy.
No,
Isekai
no,
is
no,
a
I know,
far
I'm making a
older
joke.
genre.
Yes, yeah. There's
It's much
the
more
old
dot
kind of
hack nowadays, but
yeah.
Dot hack. That's an old
Yeah.
one.
yeah. But so is this one. So he gets sucked into essentially a Monster Hunter video game. Because I'm assuming or Monster Rancher. I don't know which came out first, video game or manga, anime, something. I'm assuming video game.
It's an anime original.
Yeah, but video game first or no?
Oh,
It's based on the Monster Rancher video game franchise.
There you go. Cool.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, he's a champ, and he gets the newest game, which I think comes with a defect because he gets sucked into the game. And now has to try to survive against talking dinosaurs and
It's
all
just
sorts
next
of
level
monsters.
marketing.
Yeah, next level marketing that could kill you. Yeah, we meet like eyeballs and squishy cake ducks and giant stone people and slime people, and there's all sorts of stuff going on. And the evil Moo is turning the good monsters into baddies, and we got to find a phoenix to make that reverse. And there's a girl named Holly who has the magic necklace to point them in the direction of new monster discs to have new monsters join the team. I don't know when they're going to the ranch, but I'm looking forward to it. Did I miss anything?
No.
There's magic temples to
Unless we're like-
open the magic discs.
They summon the monsters with the discs at special
Yeah.
places.
Am I missing anything else? I think that's it, right?
The monsters are discs because they've been murdered.
Well, I think they were trapped. Some of them are murdered. But not all of them. I think the ones that you can actually get the monsters out of the disc, they're sort of like frozen in time or something. I'm assuming they're in the same place that you go whenever you go inside a Pokeball. Sort of this
No,
like halfway
because
point between life and death, where everything is
The
pain.
golem was guarding the graveyard, and the dinosaurs came to steal those.
Yeah, but did they know whether they were dead or whether they were just dormant? They might have just been stupid. I think those were the slime people. Anywho, guess it doesn't matter. Why don't we head into plot, unless anyone has any other plot points to add? Anyone?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Envy, take us into plot. What'd you think?
So this is kind of going to be a weird one for me because overall I didn't mind the plot. I know it's probably a long series, so it's just setting up the general storyline and tone of the world. I also had to basically turn my brain off in certain areas and just say, okay, this is cartoon logic, because Holly taking on multiple T-Rex by herself with a frying pan and actually holding them off for a period of time and not instantly get eaten Jurassic Park style, okay? Or when the part where they're flying across, they're trying to get away from the T-Rex monsters, and Genki jumps over multiple rock formations while rolling roller skates. Again, cartoon logic. It's
and
a kid
carrying
show.
Holly.
Yeah, and carrying Holly. Again, anime, kid show, no logic. Turn your brain off. So, but yeah, I guess overall, if I'm nitpicking, I can rip apart a lot of stuff. But it's, it's got a decent premise. I didn't expect the isekai thing. I thought, okay, why is the monsters in the opening, advertising this fantasy world, but they're in regular Japan? Oh, okay. He gets sucked into the PlayStation. Makes sense. Yeah, I'm a light yay for plot because again, it's a good setup, but again, if I had to think rationally, you kind of notice some things, which I know you probably shouldn't.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing as through all 3 episodes. I was sitting there like, okay, so what's happening to him in the real world? Is he like in a coma? Did he just disappear completely? Is this all happening in his mind and he's just like super zoned out in front of the TV? I need to know what's going on with his body. Also, the fact that he was wearing rollerblades without socks really bothered me.
Yeah.
Then that'll give it like a light yay, I guess.
I'll give it a yay. You know, it has the classic hero's journey kind of set up. They established it pretty well. And, like, they have overall tie-in to the episodes, even though it is very episodic. I really still like Golem's story. Like, it's very sad for him that, you know, he's being punished to sit there and watch over a whole bunch of dead bodies. And, like, when he accidentally, in quotation marks, kills some more, he's, like, really sad about it. I'm like, I feel like that broaches a very dark topic in a way that's palatable and easy to understand for younger audiences. So I just thought it was overall nice. If zany.
Yeah, I think I'm a yay here too. I like that we get sort of off the bat, we have an overall mission, a quest to go towards, but also you have a couple individual stories going each episode of like where it's both semi, serial, semi episodic, but the individual episodes, although I've probably seen them a couple times, they're done well here. I think, yeah, you're right. The Golem story's nice. Should we bring the baby Mochi with us? Or leave them on the farm? And then the runaway thing? Yes, I've seen this before, but it's done well. And, for what it's doing, I know I'm going to say characters a little bit, but, like, I like the farmers a little bit. And I'm kind of going to put them more towards plot than characters, because I feel like we're never going to see them again. So, yeah, I think, like, even though, like, there's stuff that I've seen here before, I definitely thought that it was done well. So, yeah, I'll give that a yay.
I feel like overall, I thought the plot was pretty solid. I felt like it was progressing each episode. We were getting new people for the team, and each individual story was pretty interesting. And I felt like there was an overarching goal and story going on. So I really didn't have any complaints about the plot. I thought it was interesting throughout. I would give it probably like a light yay.
I would give it a meh. I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not like outstanding. So, yeah.
Okie dokie. Cece, you want to talk characters?
I had never seen this show before, and last week when we were discussing it, Kozi pulled up a photo.
No, we can't go off of that.
just a photo of like the
main cast.
Yeah, the main cast, like the series art, whatever. And I could not stop laughing. I think my words to describe them were, it's like if Pokemon fell out of the ugly tree and was subjected to torture for 10 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're not pretty. They took all the cute out of the Pokemon.
To that I will say we just haven't met them yet.
Mochi's cute.
You are mainly talking about the eyeball.
Mainly the eyeball, yeah. The eyeball's pretty gross looking. I did like the Golem. I did not like the Golem originally, but, like, seeing it move, I turned around on that one. The main kid, what's his name? Energy
Genki.
boy?
Genki.
Energy. Undiagnosed ADHD. He, I find him really annoying. Especially how much he yells at his baby. It's like, this is my baby monster, and then he just, like, yells at him the whole time. Like, you're not a good parent. I know you're a child and you're not ready to be a parent, but you're not good at it. Let Holly do the parenting, please. Holly's fine. I'm gonna give it a light yay, I think.
Okay, I think I will also be a light yay. If for nothing else, they made the monster names, like, fairly easy to remember. So, like, you can, like, Mochi, you're not gonna forget who Mochi is, especially because they're saying it all the time, but, like, the golem monster is a golem. His name is Golem. I do agree Genki can be a little annoying, but, like, he's a child with main character syndrome. What do we expect out of it? I did really like the farmers, and I know they won't come back, but, like, they were nice. I just also, like, the bad guy's name is Moo. Like, we haven't met Moo, but, like, as his own little character hovering over everyone threateningly, like, Moo. I don't know, it gives me a kick.
I picture all the cow squads from the conventions.
The herds.
He's like a dark wizard in like a little cow print crop top.
Yeah, like, Mochi's cute. They did a very good job, like, between Genki and the humans of the monster world. Like, I know they just kind of, like, made their clothing look like ye olden times, but, like, it's little things like that. Like, they could have just put them in, like, modern-ish looking clothes, but they made the step to make them look, like, foreign and otherworldly. Also, the fact that she fights with a frying pan is just fucking iconic for Holly.
Yeah, I think I'm a light yay here, too. There's moments where some characters can be a little annoying, but I think for the most part, I think, yeah, they're endearing. The characters that we get so far have been fun. Suezo's a little annoying to me, but everyone else is pretty good. Not to get back into the plot, Golem's compelling for his story arc. I like the farmers. I feel like I like the bad guys to some degree. They're fun and have like that sort of, I don't know, what is the 80s villain vibe of just like, you're gonna enjoy watching us getting our asses kicked. Like the dinos and the slimes.
It's lovable.
Yeah, definitely along those lines. So I feel like everyone pretty much works here. You know, a couple spots where you're a little like, yeah, you're yelling too much. There's a couple spots where like, yeah, your lines are really annoying. But overall, it's pretty good. Like, yay.
Can I quickly add? I did play the games. They did a really good job characterizing the monsters you had in the games because they don't have personalities there.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, no. It's literally just... It's kind of like Neopets, honestly.
Never played it.
Okay, well, I feel like most other people in this group get it, but... So, like, it was just collect them all. They didn't really have set personalities, so they did a good job bringing them to life. So even if the eyeball is annoying... Like, at least he has something for him now, instead of just bouncing eyeball.
Yeah, I don't have too much to add. I kind of agree with what most of you guys said. I thought the characters were pretty solid. Mochi was cute. I feel similarly about the main character, but he doesn't bother me too much. Like, he's okay. Yeah, it was kind of like yay overall.
I give characters somewhere between a meh and a light yay. Like, I thought they were fine, but I also was just feeling a little bit not very attached, so I did like Golem, though, so there's that.
Yeah, I'm I'm somewhere between a meh and a light yay as well. Like everyone said, I liked Golem, I liked the farmers, I liked Holly, I liked her spunk. The eyeball, his voice kind of got annoying at times, but I also understand where he was coming from because he had to deal with Genki, Mochi. It's, you know, the Pikachu of the world. It's the mascot. I assume. It's cute, I suppose. Yeah, my main drawback is Genki himself. I get it; he's a snot-nosed little kid who's invested in this world to an unhealthy degree. I get it, but his attitude was getting annoying for me. Like he wasn't Naruto level annoying for me, but he was getting close, and yeah, especially in episode 2 where he basically said, "Yeah, screw you, Mochi. You're my slave. Basically, you're my pet. I don't care about you." And then at the very end, after like 10 minutes of who knows how long it was in their world, but 10 minutes of anime time. Oh, now I care about you. Now you're my best friend. I didn't buy that for 1 second. I probably should have said that with plot, but yeah, I did not buy that at all. I'm thinking, no, you don't like him. You're still going to abuse him, you little prick. Yeah, so I'm kind of I'm a man now because of Genki.
So I just looked it up and it all suddenly makes sense. Genki is an 11-year-old. What
Yeah,
preteen
that makes
is
sense.
not the most fucking annoying child you've ever met?
Yeah, I don't want to watch that though.
They are all so annoying. Oh my god.
I'd just like to point out, I think Suezo is actually the mascot of this series, not Mochi.
No, it is
Oh,
Mochi.
well.
I thought Suezo the eyeball for Monster Rancher in general was more of the mascot.
No, it was definitely Mochi, at least after the show came out.
Ah, I see. Influence.
I don't know
Okie
about
dokie.
originally.
Well, it kind of does tie us into advertising. Kozi, would you like to talk about advertising?
Oh boy. I like Monster Rancher and I obviously played it, but I think I'm gonna go meh here, just purely based off of these first 3 episodes. I do agree that the monsters themselves can look a little gross, especially the ones we've seen. Like, we haven't gotten to any of the cool ones yet, I feel like. Mochi is cute, but, like, I don't know if that's cute enough to, like, entice people into the series. Also, like, they showed what the game actually was at the very beginning of episode 1, but I feel like we don't really loop back around to that because he's actually in the monster world. So, like, if you went to pick up the game, I kind of feel like you wouldn't necessarily realize what you're picking up, because it's not even necessarily like a collect 'em all kind of game. It is selective breeding, honestly.
Come on, man. You know that Pokemon turned into that after a while.
Yes, I do, but... Because, like, the whole point was to play against other people. So, yeah, just a meh.
Yeah, I'm kind of a yay here. I think, like, especially the fact that this is about a video game. You're advertising a video game, and your advertisement is going into the video game? I probably would have picked up Monster Rancher had I actually watched that as a kid.
Elle is like, throw me in.
Yeah, let's do this. Things are about to get weird. I don't know why everyone says they're so ugly. I think I'm fine with their character designs and that. I think these are cool looking creatures and monsters, and I know there's going to be more coming from the theme song and whatnot. That'll be interesting.
Some of them are rough around the edges.
Yeah, I kind of like things a little rough around the edges every now and then.
Also, the eyeballs attacks are purely mouth-based.
Yeah, I had a feeling they don't really have
bite in the
anything
lip.
else. They don't really have anything else other than whatever their like little proboscis is on the bottom of them.
Yeah, so
Is it a
just,
foot? Is it genitalia? Who can tell?
To add on to anyone's ick factor, yeah, his main attack is lick.
That's Ghastly's main attack, and I've used those. But yeah, I think this is good. It's fun, and at the very least, when it was coming out, the market wasn't oversaturated with isekai. So at the very least, you would stand out a little bit.
I'm gonna give it like a meh for this. I don't really love the designs of the monsters that much, to be honest. And I mean, the isekai element, I think maybe just because I've seen it done so many times, like isekai is huge nowadays, that it's like it doesn't really advertise it so much for me or like add anything to me wanting to play this. I don't know, like it was just okay in terms of that. Like, I feel like I was interested in the plot and everything overall, but like, it doesn't make me want to go out and buy anything or do anything with this. Actually, I might give it more of like a light nay, to be honest.
I think I would give it a meh because, well, I can understand what it's trying to do by taking our main character and like putting him in the video game that the show is based on. Like, I feel like that's like a fun concept, and like this show came out in 99, so I feel like that would have not necessarily like been a new concept, like people going into pieces of media that they consume and stories is honestly just kind of a thing that's been around. But I feel that like the creature designs are not great. They're kind of like a little creepy. So I think it just kind of depends on like what the audience would have thought of said creatures. Granted, said target audience may not have cared, but I don't know. I feel like it's more an advertisement for the game, not necessarily an advertisement for like anything else. Granted, like I was scrolling through some like merch earlier, or like products that came from this franchise, and there was the games obviously, but also some little figures.
Yeah, we also had plushies.
Yeah, those two. And the thing is like, if this were me as a kid, and granted, I'm probably not the target demographic for like whatever this was, when it came out, I don't honestly think that like I would have wanted any of the stuff from this. I probably wouldn't have wanted to play the game either, even though it's like, hey, this is a show about this game. I don't know. I don't really feel like I would have been compelled to do it. It was like a decent concept, at the time. But yeah, just kind of like about advertising. So it's a meh.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. I mean, I think the anime is fine for what it is. It's got a decent setup so far, and I think it probably, hopefully tells a good, compelling story. How well does that translate to the game itself? I would probably be somewhat interested to see how the game is compared to the anime. If there was toys based on the monsters, I'd imagine they'd be pretty popular. Because I know there's gross looking toys all the time. I mean, there was the Garbage Pail Kids from the 80s. I know those.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I could see it working. I don't know if it worked well for me, but for what it is, I give it like a light yay for advertising.
See this working well for the Genkis of the audience. 11-year-old
That
boys.
is fair.
Like the grittier monsters than some of the other shows. But for me, I don't think it was very effective. I don't think I would check out the game or anything like some of the other shows. But I don't think I would hate like watching the rest of this either. I might give it a meh to a light yay, I think.
Okay, and that brings us into production. I'm leading us off on this. I give this overall a light yay. The anime's a little older, so, it doesn't look as clean as some of the stuff that we might say nowadays, but I think for the time, I thought they animated it pretty well. Again, I like a lot of the character designs in that. I thought they were interesting enough. I didn't really see any problems. It didn't, amaze me, but I enjoyed it enough that I was like, yeah, this is nice.
I think I just feel extremely meh about the production. There was nothing bad, but there was nothing good. So I don't really have much to say about it, except I just feel very meh about it.
I think for me, I am also just very meh about it in general. We're on production right now, right? I'm
Yes.
sorry, my brain is going in and out. So, this is from 99. The animation's a little rough. Dub-wise, I don't know, I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. So, meh.
My thoughts are pretty much the same as Owl's, except I felt like the voice acting for Suezo, the Eyeball, Mochi, and Genki ran the gambit of being annoying as shit to tolerable given the time period. And it pretty much all depended for me on whether or not the characters were acting annoying. So when Genki was an annoying little shit, I thought his voice was grating. When he wasn't, I thought it was fine. Same thing with Suezo and same thing with Mochi. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, for its time, yeah, it's not bad. And the monsters all look. I mean, Suezo looks unique as the eyeball monster. The T-Rexes are T-Rexes. I mean, what? How do you mess up a T-Rex design? And Mochi
you give
looks
them long arms.
fair. Although that makes them overpowered as shit. Then
I thought they were raptors, but that's just me.
they look like T-Rexes to me, but
They were a carnivorous dinosaur.
But yeah, and Mochi looks cute, I guess. So yeah, I'll give it a light yay, like Al did.
It came out in 99, yeah, but it feels more like an 80s animation.
You have not seen 80s animation then?
Well, we did watch Transformers a couple weeks ago.
That is true.
Yeah, I normally am not a fan of like the 90s animation style, but this one felt more gritty like the 80s ones do. So I did not mind it. I don't know where else to put this, so when he had to change the disc in the middle of the game, that unlocked some repressed memories for me.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot
Yeah.
we had to do that.
Playing Final Fantasy VII, you got to use like 2 or 3 discs or something like that.
And at the time, it blew my mind. I'm like, how does this not like make the computer explode? He wasn't using a computer; he was using a PS1 that he threw at someone. What was that about? Anyway, production, I think it's a light yay. Yeah, I've got no real complaints about it.
I'm also gonna give it a light nay. I would be more inclined to say, like, meh. Just because, like, there were a lot of, like, small little production errors that are probably, like, due to its time. Like, there were a couple scenes where they forgot to draw the stripes on Mochi's shell, which was just kind of bizarre looking. But I'm gonna give it a light yay because something nobody else has talked about, really. The sound design was done really well. Like, when they were in the caverns, like, it sounded like they were in, like, giant empty caverns. Like, the rain was really realistic, even when they were, like, hiding out from it. Like, they did a really good job with, like, their ambient noise. And it was just, like, a little detail that I really appreciated.
Yin, why don't you take us into final thoughts?
I hate to say it, but I think this one's also very meh for me. I think I liked the plot overall, and it was fairly entertaining, but I don't have a huge drive to watch more. I think the characters and stuff were pretty... Like, I have no real complaints about this show, but I have no real love for it either. I don't know, it's just kind of, like, squarely in the middle. Like, nothing that really stood out as being amazing, but nothing that really stood out as being bad. So I have nothing to say except it was just meh for me.
Very much meh. My final thought is that.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Like, I like the setup of the story. I like the concept of, collecting monsters and, battling them out. And, the intrigue of the world. And you have a main villain who's named Moo. Like, that's funny. But yeah, some of the characters kind of just irritated me. So that kind of dampened my enjoyment a little bit.
I think I'm also gonna give it a meh. I don't really have anything to complain about. I didn't hate it, but I'm also not super invested in it. I'll watch it if we keep watching it, and if we don't, I will not.
Okay, like a meh to a light yay, like somewhere in between there. I like a lot of the parts individually, but more than anything, it's just made me want to go back and play the games more so than I have any drive to keep watching it. Like, honestly, I could care less about Genki. I just want to go play with ducks, which is what Mochi's species is called.
I mean, I think I'm kind of a light yay here. I had fun with it. I enjoyed this for the most part. If we ended up not watching more of it, I don't think it'd be a great loss to me, but like, yeah, I think I enjoyed this. I might actually end up watching a few more episodes, at least to see what other monsters end up joining the team, at least, I think. So yeah. Any other thoughts about this show?
Nope.
Okay. Well, why don't we get into the actual real yays and nays? We can figure out who's going to be moving on and be the first winner of the Monster Friends category. All right, so first up on plot, Chibi, you're leading us off. Who's getting your yay?
Monster Rancher is getting my yay because it actually had an overarching plot, whereas, granted, for Yokai Watch, each episode or like little segment had its own plot, but it wasn't like it all connected in an overarching story, which kind of like made everything feel disconnected. So, which is fine. Sometimes, like, if I want something episodic, I will watch SpongeBob. And that's my 2 cents.
I'm kind of torn on this because which one actually had more of a story? Monster Rancher. Which one had more of an overarching setup? Monster Rancher. Which one was more episodic of the week? Obviously, it was Yokai Watch. There were definitely individual stories of Monster Rancher that I liked. I liked the subplot with Gollum and the farmers. I thought both of those plots were handled pretty well. But if I'm being honest, which plot did I enjoy more? Which one that I was honestly more invested in, even though it was more episodic? I would probably say Yokai Watch. I was more invested and more intrigued by the story and the world of Yokai Watch than I was with Monster Rancher, even though I know it probably had more of a story than Yokai Watch. So I'm going to give my edge to Yokai Watch for plot.
Yeah, Monster Rancher had a plot and Yokai Watch kind of didn't, but I think I am more invested in Yokai Watch. So I'm gonna give it to them.
I'm gonna give it to Monster Rancher. It had a plot, and even like its episodic plots, I feel like they handled those much better than Yokai Watch did their own episodic stuff. Like, Yokai Watch was just like too mindless.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Monster Rancher had a plot, and it, more than that, it actually felt like it was telling a story. I mean, a lot of times you just have, like, you know, we can look at plot a lot of different ways, but I actually feel like there is a story going on in Monster Rancher that I can follow and maybe get something out of. So I'm giving it to them.
Yeah, for similar reasons, I would give it to Monster Rancher for plot.
Okay, Monster Rancher takes plot. Now we move on into characters. Envy, you're leading us off.
Even though most of the human cast didn't have much of a personality yet, I'm going to give it to Yokai Watch simply because I thought the yokai were charming in their own unique way. I didn't mind Nate as a protagonist, even if he was kind of generic. And also, I wasn't a huge fan of Genki, so again, that's your protagonist. So, yeah, Yokai Watch for characters.
Yeah, also Yokai Watch for characters. I like their designs better, and human personalities were not so annoying.
Okay, I'm kind of the opposite of that. I'm giving it to Monster Rancher. Not necessarily because I like the characters better, but purely off the fact I found way more characters annoying in Yokai Watch.
Yeah, for me, it comes down to, and it kind of was the same reason that I went with plot for Monster Rancher. Again, I feel like there are characters in Monster Rancher. versus, like, I don't know, they ranged from annoying to absolutely nothing to me in Yokai Watch, and at the very least, I think in Monster Rancher, I was like, okay, I'm interested to see where this goes, and where you go, and what you're gonna do with yourself, and that. And honestly, some of them actually were really interesting to me, so I'm gonna go with Monster Rancher.
I think I'll go with Yokai Watch. I think, yeah, the yokai themselves I just found more fun than the monsters in Monster Rancher. And I sometimes found the monsters in Monster Rancher to be slightly more annoying for whatever reason. Like, I thought Mochi was cute, but sometimes he got kind of annoying with how, like, I don't know, virtually useless he was, even though he was just a baby. And the eyeball, I don't know if it was just because of the dub, but sometimes he got annoying. The only one that never annoyed me was the rock guy. And then you got Genki, who was sometimes annoying, but I never found the other kid annoying in Yokai Watch. So I think, just because, yeah, I think the characters did annoy me less in Yokai Watch, and I actually liked some of them and found some of them really cute, I'll give it to that one.
I abstain.
Isn't
Well, then I
it
guess
tied then?
Nope, that's
Nah, it goes to
Monster
Yokai
Rancher
Watch.
then.
Oh, okay.
No, it goes to Yokai Watch.
Oh, that's
I'm
right.
keeping track. I have numbers.
I forgot to do math.
I never forget my math. That's how I know how old Dragnet is, and Perry Mason, and all the other goddamn shows. So I think I was 9 when I was told about Adam 12. Anywho, Yokai Watch takes characters, and we move on into advertising. Cece, you're leading us off here. Who gets your yay?
My yay's gonna go to Yokai Watch, because I'm interested in playing the game now, possibly. And I don't think I can say the same for Monster Rancher.
Okay, again, going opposite, I would give it to Monster Rancher, because if I had to go out and buy one of these games today, I would choose Monster Rancher.
Same for me. Monster Rancher, like, at least the game looked a lot more interesting, and maybe part of that is getting sucked into a video game. Maybe part of that is just I'm more interested in your monsters. I don't know, man, but Monster Rancher was the one that worked for me.
I think I'm gonna go, because I think I gave it like a meh or a light nay on Monster Rancher's advertising. I just didn't find that it advertised it that much for me, or maybe it just did. I don't know. Maybe I just don't like the monster designs. I'm not sure. But I thought Yokai Watch actually did a really good job with advertising, so I guess I'll give it to that one.
Yes, I will also give it to Yokai Watch for the same reason.
Yeah, Yokai Watch for me too. Same reason as CC's reasoning.
Well, Yokai Watch takes the advertising, and now we go on into production. Kozi, who's getting your yay?
Monster Rancher still. Like I said in final thoughts for Yokai Watch, like, it felt like the soulless cash grab it was. Like, even if you guys like it, like, it was purely just an attempt to make more money. And that's what it felt like for me.
I mean, wasn't that Pokemon too?
I mean,
We'll get
is
to
what
that
an
eventually.
Advertisement is supposed to be.
I gave them both a light yay. So I'm a little like, which way am I going here? I feel like, it's, at least to me, both of the art styles were pleasing enough. I think that maybe Yokai Watch had a little bit of better animation, but part of that might just be due to the fact that it's a more recent anime.
Which rap did you like better?
Oh, that's kind of where I'm leaning here, is that I enjoyed probably the sound of Monster Rancher better than I enjoyed the sound of Yokai Watch. And it's not much more of a point to add, but I'm gonna add a little bit more of a point for that. And it's like, this is like, I'm kind of split down the middle, almost 50-50 on these. Monster Rancher just gets the 51% for just having a better opening and ending to me. So that's the way I'm going.
Oh, this one's kind of hard because on the one hand, I think Yokai Watch looked a lot better, but yeah, the opening and ending were like super annoying if I'm going to look at them comparatively. Like Monster Ranchers didn't annoy me as much. And I guess, like, the production, like, was just very meh to me. But the other one, I think the production was... The rest of the production, aside from the opening and ending, were better overall. I don't know. Maybe skip me for now. Come back to me if we need me.
Yokai Watch.
Yeah, nothing against Monster Rancher. I'm sure the voice actors did as well of a job as they did given their assignments back in the day. But yeah, I thought the cast was better in Yokai Watch. I thought the animation was more charming, and I thought the designs of the yokai were more creative than the designs of the monsters. And I honestly don't remember the OP and ED of Monster Rancher that much, even though I just watched it a couple days ago. And say what you will about the ED for Yokai Watch, it's memorable. It definitely gets stuck in your head, and I guess that's kind of half the battle, maybe, sort of, for how you look at it. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to Yokai Watch for production.
I'm going to give production to Monster Rancher. I think that the animation had more personality to it, and just the ending for Yokai Watch just kills me. They look dead. It's scary.
Yin,
Do we need me or not?
we don't. I just wanted to offer you a chance to mention.
Oh, if we don't
anything.
need me, then just skip me.
Okay, well, Monster Rancher takes production, and we move into final thoughts now. I'm leading us off here. I mentioned that it wasn't a hard one way or the other on either of these. I gave them both light ones, but with Yokai Watch, I mentioned every episode I watched, I kind of wanted to watch it less and less. But with Monster Rancher, it was like, you know what? Okay, I'm a little more interested as we keep going. So I'm gonna give it to Monster Rancher because it's enticing me more.
This is gonna sound really weird because I feel like I gave most of these categories to Yokai Watch and not to Monster Rancher. But I think, like, what's more important to me in these final thoughts is which one I'd rather watch more of. And I feel like, kind of like what Al was saying, like, I progressively did not want to watch Yokai Watch as much, even though I think the basics of it are good. Like, it has a good foundation in terms of the characters, and especially the little yokai I really like. But I just feel like since it's very samey, there's not much intrigue there. Whereas with Monster Rancher, I'm more interested in how it will progress and how, you know, things might change or things might happen. Whereas I don't feel like there's going to be much change or anything else really happening in Yokai Watch. Like, I feel like it's gonna stay pretty much the same, which is nice if you like that, you know. I think it's, like, a nice show, but I feel like I'm more interested in seeing where Monster Rancher could go. So even though there were a lot of elements I like better about Yokai Watch, if I have to consider which one I'd rather watch more of, I think it would be Monster Rancher, so I will give it to that one.
Yokai Watch. Easy for my brain.
Which one is the technical better show? Who knows? Maybe Monster Rancher might be a better show, but if I'm being completely honest with myself, I'd rather watch more Yokai Watch than Monster Rancher. Again, not that Monster Rancher was bad, I still liked it, but I had more fun watching Yokai Watch.
Yeah, I found Yokai Watch to be more fun. I'd go with that one.
Well, Elle, we're about to have a problem because
Well, no, we gotta do the countdown of which one got more yays and nays or something
We'll
like
get
that.
to it.
Well-
Just say your piece. Everyone likes to jump the gun.
yeah. So I'm gonna give it to Monster Rancher. Like, I gave it a meh because it would rather make me play the game than watch more of it, but I would rather watch more of it than Yokai Watch. And that brings us to a tie in this category, which was also the category we were using to determine what would go forward.
Yeah, because Monster Rancher got the yay for plot. Yokai Watch got the yay for characters. It also got the yay for advertising. Monster Rancher got the yay for production, and now we have a tie for fucking final thoughts. Lovely to see, everybody. Lovely to
final
see.
thoughts,
Gav,
whatever
where the
got more
fuck
of
you
it.
at right now? Yes, we can lean towards that particular option.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
There were 2 abstains through this, so I don't think it'll affect things too much, I don't think. Let's see here. We have 2, 5, 9, 11, 14 yays for Yokai Watch. And let's see here. 4, 6, 8, 11, 14 fucking yays for fucking Monster Rancher.
Okay, but last time didn't we say, like, if final thoughts...
Final thoughts didn't go to anyone. It's a tie.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Oh, no.
Well, we're
It's a
completely
complete-
fucked, everybody.
A complete tie.
Are you just
do we-
counting the yays for, like, the choose between them?
Yeah. The total
what,
yays.
What about the yays for, like, the actual... when we were going over them individually? For
Well, if
final
everyone
thoughts?
wants to remember them...
So, like,
And ultimately, here's the
should
thing.
me and Chibi not abstain on our things? Would it change anything?
Okay, you know what? That's a good point. Jimmy, what did you abstain on?
I abstained on characters, I want to say.
Okay. Would you abstain on?
I think I abstained on... Was it production? I want to say I think it was production I abstained.
Yes, you abstained on that. I'm going to say this because you guys kind of put us in this position just a little bit. You guys, I don't know. I really don't know what to do here. I really don't know what to do here.
That
now
also
we have
doesn't
fucking
work
even
because
stuff.
Yin voted for one and Cheapy voted for the other.
I have an idea.
Flip a coin?
Flip a coin.
Well, no, community poll.
I need to know
We
who's
need
going to
an
win
answer
right
now.
now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we
Coin.
can't set shit up. We're flipping a coin, and this is what it comes down to. All right. Yokai Watch was up first. They will be heads. Monster Rancher was up second. They will be tails. I'm going to flip on my little coin flip app. You will be the confirmation, all right?
Okay.
That says heads.
That's heads.
That says heads. Yokai Watch takes it through bullshit. Let's just say what it is here. Anywho.
If our
Yeah.
one consistent viewer disagrees.
Look. Did it really matter which one of
No.
these went on?
No.
I'm gonna be
Whatever
real
it
with you.
is
Look,
gonna get
I'm
wiped.
I don't like to assume anything. First off, before we get into it, does anyone else have any other things to say about either of these shows? Or are we pretty
Not
good?
A one.
Okay.
Nope, too sleepy.
Okay. Yokai Watch moves on. I'm gonna be real here. I don't think they're getting past the next round because next week is really the big fight of the entire tournament that I was really hoping was not going to be in the first round of things. But you know, random
the one that set
drawings.
the bracket.
Random drawings are random drawings. So
What
join
if
us
we
next week.
break it.
Just
What
let
if
me.
we
Let's
just-
let's just end it. I'm done today. It's like, I really don't want to speculate more shit.
You say let's break it. It already broke, Al.
Everything's broke. Everything sucks. It's all right. It's fine.
What if we keep both of these and then put one up against Pokemon and one up against Digimon?
Oh, so we're just gonna redo the whole thing? No, we're not gonna fucking do it because next week is Pokemon versus Digimon, probably the most contentious possible matchup we can have in this entire fucking tournament. That's what I actually want to do. So let's go and do that for next week. We're gonna forget this because whoever wins in Pokemon vs. Digimon, I feel like it's gonna kick Yokai Watch's ass. I don't mean to predict things, but I have a very strong suspicion. So,
Yeah, and even if it was Monster Rancher, that wouldn't have changed.
How would
Probably
how would you
not.
feel if Yokai Watch beats Pokemon or Digimon?
It's not going to.
I'm gonna be real with you. If you want me to, humor this, I'm gonna assume all of you conspired against me. And there is some sort of shenanigans going on.
He'll delete the channel.
I already
It'll
feel
be
like there's gonna be a very clear bias at whatever goes up against Yokai Watch.
let's not assume, but these are definitely two of the most famous shows in the whole fucking tournament. And they're going up against each other next week. It's the grudge match, Pokemon versus Digimon. See you next week, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series, Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!